and welcome to the Star Wars Shatterpoint tournament recap for the Rogue 6 event held at Firestorm Games in Swindon on the 4th of July 2026. I'm your host Steve, and I will be looking back over my games, talking about the lists that I faced, and talking about the event as a whole. So let's get started. So as always with these event recaps, we'll start by looking at the primary units. Now I think that Longshank's data might still be affected for the number of players that brought primary units information here, as you can see. So not the end of the world in terms of a data set, as we can still have a look and see how many times particular primaries were played at the event, but just interesting to see that not quite all the data is back. So yeah, we can see Luminara getting a lot of love, 6 games here. The Armourer as well with 5 games, Maul and Balin Skull 4 games each, and then we've got a good smattering of 3s, including units like Kiadi. We've got Han in there, Padme, Leia, Cassian, Mando and Mace, and then just filtering down, Grievous played twice, GI twice, and then Plo Koon features Veers, Mother Talzin, Dooku and Ahsoka Tano no more. So just a little overview there. So a really nice mix. So let's have a look at the list that I brought. So the list that I brought here is a slight variation on what I took to London. So my first squad there is still Leia, Han and Chewie with Luke as the secondary there. So still very happy with the Leia box, along with Cassian and K2, no change there. But I have swapped the Pathfinders out for the Rebel Commandos. And the reason being that the Rebel Commandos just bring so much more. Okay, they're not spies in terms of Cassian's advance, but they're already a little bit further up the board. The coordinated fire damage and just the amount of damage they can do on their tree, so the firepower that they bring, it's so much more valuable than the Pathfinders, I think. So yes, they slot in there instead of the Pathfinders. And then the second squad, I wanted to give a try for something Morgan and Mother Talzin based. So I went with Morgan, DTE and Dark Troopers. As we've seen from the stats center, it's a very popular build, that one, and I think that is super strong. So yeah, really like that side of the build. And then I went with Mother Talzin, and I thought to myself, well, I'm going to run Fifth Brother. Because I wanted a tiebreaker, and I like having even more manipulation potentially. So obviously we've got the manipulating hand, double there, and then potentially a force push on the tree as well with Fifth Brother. So that could be really good there. And so it made sense to bring Third Sister along as well. So yeah, although maybe not complete synergy across the list, still not bad at all. And Fifth Brother, of course, getting some synergy with DTE as well. And the mission, again, I went with Sabotage Showdown, because this one works very well with Cassian and Leia, and I wasn't too fussed about playing it with Morgan and Mother. So let's have a look at who I faced in round 1. So this was a small event, only 8 players, over 4 rounds. So there was there was the potential for 3 and 1s to still win the event, depending on what happened. And my first round was against Andrew, and Andrew and I have played against each other before. He's a really strong, solid player, loves his Mandos, which is why we've got the Armourer, Bo-Katan and the Coverts, with Maul, Gar Saxon and the Clan Kryze. So I believe I faced that list before the last time we played each other. But he'd also brought with him Moff Gideon, Darth Vader and the ISB, with GI, Third Sister and Fifth Brother on strategic positions. Now, when I thought about what I was going to bring, I knew that my Mother Morgan list was maybe the weaker of the two. But also, seeing his lists, I thought, well, if he brings Moff Gideon and Fifth Brother, that's 2 tiebreakers, so I probably want my tiebreaker on the table, my Fifth Brother on the table. And also, if he's going to bring that list into me, then I'm going to want to have some revenge, and luckily Morgan and Mother Talzin have some revenge there. And I just thought that both of the lists that he brought, Maul as well, I kind of wanted to bring the Morgan Mother list into this early matchup here to deal a little bit with the aggression, deal with the tiebreaker if he went for the Moff Gideon list, and also it means that then I can fulfill my destiny nice and early. And if I've enjoyed the Morgan Mother list, then I can play it again later. But I can fulfill my destiny hopefully in the first 2 rounds and just get the Morgan Mother list out the way if it's not feeling good. And he actually went for the Moff Gideon and GI list. And when revealed, he actually said to me, I thought you were going to go with your rebels, and I thought this one would be better into the rebels. So there we go, and we talked through our logic. Let's see how the game progresses. So here we are at deployment. So Andrew won the roll off. I decided to put fifth brother and Mother Towson and third sister on the same side that Moff Gideon was. You can just see his cape poking out the corner on the top right hand side, with Mother Towson facing the Grand Inquisitor side. So yes, there we go. So that's how I decided to deploy. And what you're going to notice throughout this game is that basically I've just taken the same shot of the board for all the photos, and the reason why was, as we kind of progress, I'll talk through the game. But Andrew and I kind of discussed it as we went along. There were very few turns where we needed to make tough decisions. The game kind of ebbed and flowed in a really gentle way. It kind of said, "Yep, that's your pull. Yep, I'll do that. Yeah, this has happened. Okay, I'll do that." And there wasn't that many moments of super tough decisions. We were both very clear on what we were doing. The dice were clear. It was all really, really straightforward. It didn't feel like there was any. I won't say there wasn't drama in the game, because there were moments where there was a bit of drama, but it didn't feel like a particularly hectic game or anything like this. We were just enjoying ourselves, just playing a good game of Shatterpoint. So as we progress, we'll just see a kind of similar shot of the board multiple times, just with a different board state. And so here we can see I've had a fifth brother activation just to move in and hunker. Very very boring. Under there, Mother Towson activation moved Morgan forward, so she dashed forward to be a bit closer to those objectives over on that side where they've gone live. Mother Towson moving in and taking that point. You can just make out the grey Darth Vader secondary tucked in there. Actually, that's interesting. Andrew's list is different. Let's have a pause and check on that. Did he not bring the Vader Jedi Hunter? The Vader secondary? Let me just double check that. Fallen Master. No, I'm completely wrong. I just forgot immediately. So there we go. Must be still be tired from the event the day before. So you can see Vader Fallen Master just being shoved off by Mother Towson. I think I'm manipulating handed on that one. I think I paid for the manipulating hand there, just to take control of that point there. So yeah, pretty standard turns for us. Vader moved up, hunkered. Fifth brother moved up, hunkered. My fifth brother moved up and hunkered, and then Mother Towson went in and moved Vader out the way. Really, really just standard activations. And then a little bit later on, we can see a few of our units getting up there. The ISB moving up, and my Dark Troopers were actually able to kill the ISB, and we got the sweet jump to get down there as well. So yeah, definitely, although pretty standard, as I say, standard activations, just, yeah, can we do it? Yeah, we can, let's go, getting it done. Moff Gideon was a little bit of a nuisance, as I would have rather, some of my ordering, with the Dark Troopers, I wasn't sure whether they were going to get over there, but then can't really reserve with Moff Gideon, costing 2 to reserve. So yeah, so felt that it was still okay to go with them, and in the end, they actually came good and got the wound on the ISB there. So yeah, again, very standard. We're just kind of chugging along, breaking, scoring 3, momentum moving, and I'm 1 ahead with the wound already. And with that, I was able to take Struggle 1. So I actually I ended up wounding. I think I wounded Moff Gideon before the end of Struggle 1. And Andrew kind of gave up the struggle and said, "Right, we're gonna go with this instead." And then, as you can see, we've got the kind of it's a rhombus shape, isn't it? Where we've got the 2 most outer points there, and then 2 of the inside points alive. So Andrew chose that layout there. And this wasn't ideal for me in terms of the layout. I thought I might be able to kind of cling in a little bit, but the order deck not really paying dividends. So let's see as we progress. Andrew very much in the driving seat in the second struggle. Here we are a little bit further on. Again, we've had a little bit of movement from some of the pieces, but Andrew just still being able to control more of those objectives than I can. Yeah, definitely not going my way at this point. We managed to get DTE to have a decent activation, but he wasn't able to shove everyone away that we needed. So yeah, there was a bit of stuff there, and also the priority points keeping on falling slightly more in favour of Andrew as well. So yeah, I kind of decided that it was probably best to give up this second struggle and look at the third one as we go into that. And I think this is one of the things to note, that with the new mission strategic positions, it can be quite quick struggle 2. So struggle 1 can maybe be a bit closer fought, or if you end up getting someone scoring 3 and then the other one scoring 3 and then the momentum going boom, 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 and the order deck being kind, you can have a quite a one-sided struggle 1. It's either closely fought or one-sided struggle 1, and then struggle 2 does, in my experience so far, tend to be pretty quick. So the layouts here, I could either choose the cluster up on his side of the board or the cluster on my side of the board. So obviously I went with the one that was closer to me, although this was going to be a little bit difficult. So Moff Gideon was able to take the point underneath the gantry that's closest to the bottom there for me, although I don't think he lasted particularly long, as we were able to shove him away, manipulating hand him away possibly, or it was force repulsion, fifth brother, I can't quite remember, we'll see later. But Vader's point still being active, Vader doing a great job just standing there. My fifth brother was unable, my third sister was unable to remove Vader from the point there early doors, which was a little bit of a shame. But yeah, still very, very close. A really interesting game so far. As I say, not many complicated turns. We were kind of just looking at the board going, yep, I'll do that, and just taking the activation. And here we can see it's still going in Andrew's favour. Whilst I've managed to take the far point away from Vader by putting 2 bodies on the point over there, Andrew has managed to get his third sister all the way down into my back corner there, stealing that point and giving him an opportunity there. I do have my fifth brother and the other Dark Trooper jammed under the gantry. You can't quite see them, but the gantry where Moff Gideon is kind of poking out in the middle of the shot there. We've got a Dark Trooper tucked into the corner there, and then my fifth brother is tucked in as well. So that's why that one's flipped to me as well. So yes, something I will note that was very interesting about the game was, whilst I was wounding a lot of things, Andrew was deliberately deciding not to wound things, and I don't think he actually wounded a unit until the third struggle. And this was actually really difficult for me to play around because I really needed some units to go down. And there were times when he said, right, I think I'm going to try and kill this unit now. And then the dice just said, no, we're going to block you out, or, this is this, or you're going to fall short by 1, all this kind of stuff. And it was actually quite frustrating for me, as I wanted some of my units to be dying. But unfortunately, it wasn't working out that way. And this actual interaction here where the Dark Troopers did get wounded. I mean, that was actually the only wound that Andrew did to me all game. 1 wound from such an aggressive list that also gets the force refresh as well from that. Although that didn't really come into play too much. Yeah, so that was quite staggering. But actually, that's what ultimately cost me towards the end of the game. And here is basically the final play of the game. So I had previously I'd managed to get DTE down to try and shove third sister away from that point there in the corner, and that hadn't worked. So third sister was just inside the range there, and I realised I had a Mother Towers in activation, and I realised that there was a world where, if the measurement just worked out, I dashed her towards that side of the board on the Revenge. and foregone the attack because I didn't need to go for the attack. So I dashed her that way. I then, because she was engaged with Moff Gideon at that point in time, I then had to dash her again. I dashed her, and if I was within range 4 of third sister, I could manipulating hand her away from that point, then attack Grand Inquisitor, double shove Grand Inquisitor, and finish underneath that point with Grand Inquisitor out of range 2, and I would have had a massive swing turn on this occasion. However, unfortunately, Mother Talzin fell short by about, I want to say, about a centimetre. It wasn't too close, we weren't talking millimetres out, but it was still far enough out that unfortunately we were out of range 4 of third sister, and then when I attacked Grand Inquisitor, we weren't able to push him off the point, so that was pretty sad. So I decided to manipulating hand Moff Gideon, popping his strain and killing Moff Gideon, just to give me a bonus wound there. But then Andrew was able to close out and win the struggle on the next turn. So a really, really lovely game. Andrew, brilliant player, played against him before, really kind, really gentle, lovely event. We just had a great time, and I thoroughly enjoyed the game. No issues whatsoever. So unfortunately, I went in 0-1 to start the day. Did get the struggle though in struggle 1, so that was definitely a bonus there. So happy with that. And I decided that it was definitely going to be Cassian and Leia in the next round. And boy, oh boy, was the bottom half of the bracket stacked with names. So 8-player event, obviously, it's a close call thing, some of these Shatterpoint events. And in the 0 and 1s, we had Ailsa, who I ended up being paired against, myself, of course. Then we had Luke, very strong player, very good with separatists. Played against Luke a couple of times as well. Managed to get the better of me, I think, every time as well. So Luke, very strong player. And then Phil, tabletop impulse as well. So 4 names you did not expect to see at the bottom in round 1 potentially. We were in a kind of a group of death there, very scary there. But also the top 4 also very, very strong players as well. So we'll see how it all pans out by the end. So I got to play against Ailsa. Now, Ailsa was running Mace Windu, Fixer, and the 501st with Padme, CT, and Pons, and 7 Scorch. She also ran Morgan, Enoch, and the Night Troopers with Veers, DTE, and Death Troopers on Sabotage Showdown. So we got the same mission. Elsa had also run Morgan and Veers in round 1, and with the loss there as well. So I jokingly said, we may be playing Morgan for the rest of the day then, and gave a little smile, knowing full well that probably both of us weren't going to touch those Morgan lists again, having lost. So it was going to be Mace Windu and Amidala into Cassian Leia. So 2 pretty meta lists running into each other, which is absolutely what you want at an event like this. So absolutely buzzing to get to play versus Ailsa again. Super strong opponent. So let's see how we get on. So here is the board. Ailsa, I think it was Ailsa won the roll off, I want to say. So we got the deployment here. So we got Padme on the same side as Leia, and then Mace on the same side as Cassian. So obviously the Death Donut to kick us off. So let's see how the game starts. I may have got it wrong. I may have gone first, actually. I can't remember, to be honest with you. It's one of these things. I probably need to start bringing a notebook with me for these events. I can't remember if I went first or if Ailsa went first. It was a very aggressive start either way. We had Pons, we had 7 Scorch early. We had Padme up there as well. We had Leia going for Revenges. I think Han and Chewie went down immediately, so you can see Chewie there. I can't quite remember the ordering on things, but it was very, very aggressive start. There were wounds flying off the board already. Maybe I didn't wound 7 Scorch. Maybe it was Han and Chewie getting wounded early. Anyway, I can't remember. But anyway, very, very aggressive, very aggressive start to the game. Lots of points being contested. Cassian taking a standard Cassian turn, just moving round the corner to hunker and take control of the point there, just hiding himself away from Mace and the squad on that side. But my activations were regularly appearing on the left-hand side of the board. It was very much anything Elsa can do. I had the perfect response or near perfect response back. So, for example, we wound. Yeah, I think I must have gone second. Yeah, we wound Sev and Scorch here. I think with Fixer. What am I saying? With K2SO, gosh, my poor brain. So yes, we wound Sev and Scorch with K2SO, I believe, at this point here. And I flip a load of points. Maybe I went first. God, I can't remember. Apologies, Elsa. I've got absolutely no record of whether I went first or second. Possibly I should just look at these counters in the Cassian turn. Bear with me. Right. I went second. We've got it locked in. I went second. So at this point here, I'm scoring 4 again. So I think Elsa scored 4 at one point, and I scored 4. And then Elsa just was not able to get any response. So yeah, I've got 2 bodies on the point there. I've got Luke and Leia at the back there. 7 Scorch have gone down. So yeah, really starting to be dominant. K2SO having a fantastic game already. Loving K2SO at the moment. Absolutely loving K2SO, and he comes in clutch in later games as well that we will see. So in certain moments in those games. So yeah, we will see more of K2SO as we progress. But yeah, definitely struggle 1, super aggressive out the blocks, and kind of everything going my way for sure. And here we are a little bit later on, as we can see, Pond has moved forward there. But I was about to get the Rebel Commandos, who were going to move forward and end up stealing the point and taking struggle 1. So yes, here we are at the start of struggle 2. As you can see, that Rebel Commando right in the middle of the field there. He was one of the ones that was able to push forward. And the other pairing there is the other Rebel Commando is actually up on the gantry, stealing the point and getting the struggle 1 win. So here, as we move into struggle 2, one objective is just hidden by the terrain piece there at the bottom middle of the screen. So the objective is kind of tucked in there, and then we can see the other objective is with Mace and Fixer on that side there, and the other is on the midpoint. So again, this was a very close fought struggle. Lots of activations coming good, but again, Elsa every time kind of getting an opportunity to push ahead, I managed to get a suitable response. And struggle 2 ended up going reasonably quickly, I would say. Elsa able to maximise Mace, although Mace didn't have some amazing turns. Mace had some solid turns. Fixer as well, breaking the ties up there. And in the end, I kind of went, right, well, this one's done. Let's play for struggle 3 and see what the layout is. And struggle 3 wasn't too bad for me, with a bit of luck, because we still had the points that were on were the ones that the Mace point down here, the point where Leia has managed to get herself over to with some shoves and some wounds on that side there, and another. I think she maybe full treed to hit the repo as well, and then the point where Luke and we were fighting over earlier. I think it was that one as well was also active. So yeah, pretty good for me. And again, I was just able to kind of grind through. It was I think Elsa described it as kind of a slow bleeding out on the struggle, because whilst we were pretty balanced in terms of what we were doing, I was able to get the wounds, I was able to get ahead. I think the biggest thing, and we spoke about this after the game, the dice roll you can't control is where the objective goes in these priority matchups. You can't control where that dice roll goes, and it never really hit the block symbol. So with the block symbol there, I don't think I controlled that one at any point during the struggle, or maybe I did just at the end, something like this. Maybe the commandos came up and I'd wounded the 501st, but it just wasn't going to be easy for me to take control of that point there, and it never came up when it was my turn. So it wasn't that it wasn't coming up when it was Elsa's turn. It just never came up when it was my turn. So I was always scoring 2 or 3 every time I activated, and that was just brutal. So let's have a look at the final photo I have of the game. And this was a turn, I think, or two before the final activation. Cassian and Leia double bodying that point there with Fixer to give it back to me. Then someone got wounded. I think it was Leia got wounded, but I was able to get another 2 bodies over there. I think it was Han and Chewie were able to get over there, and I think I got a wound as well on the way. So yeah, it was a victory in the end. I think I pretty much did. I did a huge amount of damage in this matchup, and yeah, I also just not quite able to keep up, and the revenge going very well. K2 being a bit of a nuisance as well. So yeah, a good win for me in this game. Really enjoyed it. Really tough game. Also, super strong opponent. Always a pleasure to play. And yeah, so managed to go 1-1. So as I say, 3-1 still might be able to win an 8-person event, depending on how the matchups go. So yeah, so back in it, and moving into round 3. And round 3, I was paired against Kay, and they were bringing Obi-Wan Kenobi, Cody, and the 212th with Anakin, Rex, and the 501st. Then Ki-Adi-Mundi, Shakti, and the Padawans with Luminara, Wolf, and the Wolfpack on shifting priorities. Now, Kay, I have played them a couple of times now. Both times have been really interesting games, and in particular, the last game, Kay really improving in their Shatterpoint. Also, I knew this was going to be a tough one, as Kay actually beat Phil earlier in the day. That is why Phil had ended up on 0-1. So Kay definitely in form. Couple of tournament wins now under their belt, and this was going to be a tough matchup. Now, I thought to myself, right, I'm going to run the Cassian Leia again. I'm really enjoying that list. I think that it's definitely still got legs. And also, I suspected that Kay was going to run an Anakin anchor. So I was fully expecting to see Anakin hit the table. And they actually said that they hadn't played Ki-Adi-Mundi yet, and hadn't played with Ki-Adi at all, or very little. And so I suspected it was going to be the Anakin Ki-Adi list, and I was correct. So let's have a look at the start of the game. So I won the roll-off this time, chose my mission, and we get started. So here is the start of the game. I immediately kick off with a Han and Chewie activation. Han going one direction, Chewie going the other, taking control of 4 objectives. So although I am not scoring 4 out the doors, I have control over 4 objectives, meaning that this has immediately put me on the front foot in terms of scoring. So yeah, really happy to start the game with that strong activation. Sometimes it works that way. Luke is just in range on that point there as well. So yeah, full control over everything there. So all 4 points. So yeah, really happy with that start. Kay then responds by sending the 501st up, and it's immediately then the Rebel Commandos who go in and wound the 501st. So yeah, again, super aggressive, scoring 4 out the doors, and getting momentum. So yeah, really, I broke the parity already, and yeah, definitely feeling on the front foot here, feeling super aggressive. This is again why I prefer the Commandos over the Pathfinders. Just that damage output that they are able to do, immediately getting a wound. Was super strong as well. So yeah, really loving the Commandos in this list. Few activations later, Ki-Adi-Mundi had come in and taken that point, but Luke was able to repo Chewie up the ladder and then get up there himself with a climb, and outbody the point there 2-1. So yeah, again managing to get 4 points. So again, it's just keeping this momentum going, building, and yeah, keeping the foot on the throttle in struggle 1. So yeah, definitely feeling good here from my perspective. And then here is the prime example why I brought my revenge list into this list with Anakin. So Anakin comes in, I think he does the wound on the Rebel Commandos, but we've able to get Leia at the bottom there, shooting at Anakin and K2 as well, deciding to go for that. And in the end, we actually shoved Anakin off the point, and Anakin wasn't able to do his second attack. So super good there. So I was still controlling 3 at least at this point, rather than losing control of things. So yeah, really strong with the revenge list into this aggressive Galactic Republic list. Yeah, there we see Anakin there on the ground, not able to get on with it. My Rebel Commando has come forward as well, pinch that back point there as well. And I think that was the moment where Rex was going to come up and shove the Rebel Commandos back off the point. But then I was still going to win the struggle in the next activation after that because I was so far ahead. So at this point in time, definitely looking towards struggle 2, and definitely feeling very good from my perspective. And here we are in struggle 2, so a real cluster in the middle, the diagonal going across the board here, real cluster in the middle. We were able to get Cassian very nice and early to move over out the way. It might have been a revenge trigger, that one, I think it was. The Padawans getting a wound on... I think it was getting the wound on the Commandos, I want to say. I think the Commandos got wounded twice. Or maybe it was Han and Chewie. I can't remember which one it was. No, it was the Commandos. That's what it was. Yeah, and Leia, I nearly took control of the midpoint as well, but we weren't able to get control at that moment there. Anakin's just off the midpoint there. Shakti was able to get control up there. Han and Chewie come in later, not able to take control of all 4 points at this point in the game. But Han getting in to get the double body on and shove away the Padawan. That's what it was. Yeah, there we go. Well, I've remembered now. So yes, really nice and early doors. Able to take control here. And again, scoring 2s and 3s. Getting the wounds on things as well. Wounds on units as well. So yeah, definitely feeling very good. I'd say as well, we're about to see some K2 action, which was super strong. And I don't know. I think I'm sure Kay won't mind me saying. I don't know how much experience they have playing into revenge lists like this, but obviously revenge lists are a different matter to consider. And also not whilst Kay played really well with the list, and we did speak at the end about Ki-Adi-Mundi and how strong Ki-Adi can be. And I think there are decisions that I would imagine Kay will make when they play the list again that will mean that they are much, much stronger. Like it was a really good game, but I think there were just too many tricks that I was able to kind of use and manipulate to my advantage, simply because of the reps that I have on the list and the experience I also have playing with Ki-Adi. So let's see how the game progresses. And there he is. We were speaking about him just now. K2 in that midpoint. He ends up being shoved away, but we move him back in again. So much of my list able just to move pieces around, and K2 absolutely critical to this. And even when he goes down, the fact that he can dish out the pin and the strain as well is super good. And we were able to score 4 at this point as well. We've had Luke get up there, Shakti off the point, even though Ki-Adi's got involved as well. It's still under my control. So yeah, it's just it was just all going my way. Very much one-way traffic at this point. I think Kay did say at one point, which was quite funny. Kay said, I think it's time for me to look at setting up for Struggle 3, and I did say to them, I think I won Struggle 1, and Kay went, oh. Yes, you did. Okay, it is time to actually try and win this struggle then. I was like, yep, that's fair enough. So really, really friendly, really lovely game. Such lovely opponents at the moment playing in Shatterpoint. The community is so strong, such a lovely community. There are so few people that are... that you don't enjoy just spending time with, and that is really, really healthy for the game at the moment in the UK scene. So yeah, really, really lovely, and it's great to know that when you go to an event, you're going to have a good time and you're going to enjoy playing versus the people you're playing. So yeah, 4 points here. So really, really going one-way traffic, as I say, and in my favour. Yes, and as I say, there was the moment where K2 was shoved off, but K2 comes back on the point. Anakin comes in to try and clap Cassian. I think Anakin wounded Cassian at this point, but unfortunately that meant that the following situation could occur with K2 moving down to keep the lockdown on that point with Anakin. And here it is, the last shot of the game. So there's K2 locking down the point with Anakin. K maybe scoring 1 at this moment here. But then I was able to see out the game and get the second victory of the day. So yeah, a really, really exciting game. Although it was 2-0, I did say to K I thought it was actually a lot closer. And as I said earlier in the video, I would not enjoy necessarily running into Kay once they've had a bit more experience with Kiadi Mundi and that other half of the list. The Anakin side completely under control, know exactly what that list can do. Kay's really got a great understanding of the game and of that list there. And again, I would not be surprised if Kay suddenly, out of nowhere, with just a few more reps with a few of these lists that they've been playing, suddenly out of nowhere starts doing very, very well at tournaments soon. So yeah, hopefully they're able to attend more events in the UK, and if you do get to play them, be ready because they are certainly on a rapid trajectory of improvement. But yeah, from my perspective though, 2-1, really happy. As I say, that definitely did put me in the running. So at this point in time, there was one player on 3-0, and then three of us on 2-1. So definitely within the remit of getting the tournament win. If I can win the last round and get lucky on the strength of schedule or the armor, or the injury tiebreakers. So let's see how I look going into round 4. And round 4, I'm playing versus my good friend Ollie. So I'd driven Ollie up to the event today. We had actually decided that Ollie was going to drive to Swindon. I drove to London and Ollie was going to drive to Swindon. But when I arrived at his house, I bottled it on being able to park in his car parking space. My car is bigger than his, whatever he says. It's not true. My car is bigger than his, and I didn't think I'd be able to parallel park straight into where he was. But also, I was thinking of his and my well-being, as my air conditioning in my car is vastly better than his. So we arrived at the venue absolutely frozen. So yes, if you are wanting a lift with me in a tournament, please note that during these kind of heat wave times and this warmer weather in the UK, my car has phenomenal air conditioning. So yes, I said don't worry, I'll drive us to the event. Ollie even brought a fan with him to the tournament, which was good. So yeah, there was a nice bit of airflow through the whole event as well because of the fan that Ollie brought. So yeah, super cool. So Ollie and I had played each other only the week before. We'd done a little round robin on the Tuesday evening with another one of our friends as well from the local scene, Tom. And so I knew Ollie's lists very, very well, and he knew mine as well. So we had General Solo, K2SO, and the ISBs, my ISBs as well. So Ollie was not only did I drive him to the event, Ollie was borrowing my miniatures. What a lovely guy I am. Then Jin, Boosh, and the Rebel Commandos. Love to see Boosh featuring in a list. Then we got Mando again, my cards being borrowed by Ollie. Gosh, it's the generosity never ends, does it? And then Bo-Katan, Clan Kryze, and then the Armourer, Paz Vizsla, and the Covert Mandalorians on strategic positions. Now, both of us weren't list locked, and I knew exactly what I was going to do. I was going to run the Rebels list because I had run the Morgan and Mother Talzin list into General Solo and Jin's list on Tuesday night, and been absolutely splattered by Ollie. So I knew that I needed the Rebel list because I could not risk running the Morgan Mother list in case he dropped the Rebels list. But also Ollie knew that I was going to drop the Rebels list, and if he dropped his Rebels list, my Rebels list is probably better than his because of all my revenge being just that much better than his. And also I know that Ollie was a lot more comfortable running the Mandalorians. So we both knew what each other was going to do, and indeed it was Mandalorians versus Rebels in the final round. So let's have a look at how it gets started. So here we are, a couple of activations into the first struggle. Now, Ollie was the only player on 3-0, and just with a kind of rough maths on it, because he was number 1, I reckon that if he took a struggle, Ollie would win the tournament on tiebreakers. So definitely a little bit of pressure on this one from Ollie's perspective, but I also was playing for a potential tournament win, as we did not know what the rest of the field was going to end up as. So yeah, definitely a nice tough game here. So I sent Luke forward nice and early. The Armourer then went, killed Luke, but we were able to get Chewie forward onto the point there as well. Leia took a pot shot at the Armourer. So yeah, I was pretty happy with that. I think Ollie was as well. I've done it again, Ollie. Apologies. I've done him dirty again. I did it in the last video. I've gone and done it. There was no Louis at the event, and this time I've gone and done it again. I'm so sorry, Ollie. Apologies. It's all good banter, mate. Don't stress it, and don't worry, the trigger warning is coming up later. So I was able to get Chewy onto that point there. So I was able to retain it. So Ollie wasn't able to score too heavily at the start of his activations, but he did gain the momentum. So Ollie was very happy with that one there, as he was also looking to improve his wound tiebreakers as well, just in case it came down to that as well. So as I say, he was just looking for one struggle win here, really as a minimum, and then getting lots of wounds. So didn't need to necessarily go 4-0. So there we go. So that's the early activation. Let's see how the game progresses. Just a lovely artistic shot there from me. Gosh, isn't that beautiful? With Chewie having retained the point, Luke being dead, and Leia getting the revenge trigger and shooting Ollie's armourer. But over on the other side of the board, things were really hotting up over here. We had the Rebel Commandos and Leia over there as well. Mandalorians nearly dying. The Clan Kreese nearly dying. Mando getting involved as well. So it was a proper scrap over on that side of the board as well. And as the game moves on through Struggle 1, we will see even more how much of a scrap that this was going. Ollie and I both commenting on how tight the game was, and yeah, definitely the heat in the venue was ramping up despite the fan blowing at us as well. And here we are as we're moving through the game. We can see Ollie managing to retain that point there. K2SO as well, not taking some damage there. Bo-Katan in a really good situation here. So yeah, at this moment in the game, Ollie had kind of calculated out a turn with Bo-Katan and worked out that he could actually take the struggle at this point in time. So this was a big turn needed from Bo-Katan, and yeah, she just needed to get a wound on Han and Chewie, who were just out of shot, and then this would be a big turn for Ollie, able to take the first struggle. However, here I must put a trigger warning for Ollie as the following sequence then occurred. So, Bo-Katan made the attack. Bo-Katan then got 3 shoves on Han and Chewie and didn't follow up with any of them. Then Bo-Katan jumped forwards along the gantry, and Ollie then went, "Oh, I might have miscalculated." And that was indeed correct, because I was then able to get my revenge triggers with Leia to go up and steal that back left point from Ollie. Leia then shot Bo-Katan, shoved Bo-Katan back, meaning that even if Bo-Katan jumped, she couldn't take either one of the points at the back there as well. It was a beautiful plan from Ollie. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out. Ollie just needed to score 3 at this point. Instead, he scored 2. And then I was able to lock out the first struggle on the very next activation as well. So yeah, pretty brutal sequence of events, and unfortunately, completely within control of getting it right. So yeah, that was definitely a really tough moment in the game. Just goes to show though that these are the minute plays that things come down to. And sometimes the dice say no, sometimes the plan goes awry, sometimes the opponent outplays you. All these things can happen. So this is Shatterpoint. This is why we love the game, and this is why it can be so frustrating at times as well. So yeah, I was able to lock out Struggle 1 and bring me closer to a potential win in this match. So very, very tense times indeed. So Ollie was able to pick the second struggle, and we've got this layout here. So we've got the 2 on the left-hand side at the back, and then the midpoint up as well. So I wasn't controlling anything at the end of the first turn, because I think Leia was shoved off the point with whoever the activation was, Paz Vizsla, I think it was. Leia was shoved off the point there, so I didn't score. I wasn't scoring anything, and Ollie was able to score 2 straight on the hop. So yeah, definitely keeping the fight going in the game. But there he is, the man himself, or the robot himself, K2SO, found himself right up there in the middle of the board, locking down that point there. Fantastic stuff to see. So yeah, K2 MVP of the weekend, I would say. His positioning, I was able to get him really good positioning, and yeah, he was able to get himself up there and lock down the midpoint, which I knew was going to be critical in this game here. I think I only scored 2 at this point as well, but again, that's absolutely fine because K2 holding that midpoint is going to give Ollie some questions to deal with for sure. And it went slightly from bad to worse for Ollie as the Armourer snuck round and stole the back point, but then my Rebel Commandos went in and killed the Armourer. Cassian also had found his way up to joining K2SO up at the top there of the ladder as well. So yeah, definitely going very much rapidly in my favour here. Although Ollie was able to keep on the fight there. Paz Vizsla doing an amazing job holding the back left point there as well. So Paz having a great weekend, also almost as good an MVP I think as K2SO. But this was a really rough turn as the Clan Kreese Mandalorians, they shot at Cassian, comfortably able to shove Cassian off the point, then shot at K2SO, and K2SO completely blocked them out, meaning that then even though they jumped up, the point is locked down, you can't remove it from K2SO, and the game slipping through the fingers of Ollie. So yeah, not absolutely brutal. Just needed the shove, and K2SO would have been off the edge, and maybe one more away needed, maybe 2 shoves needed to get him off the control point there, but still entirely doable. But K2SO absolute tanking it. So yeah, great to see from my perspective, but really rough from Ollie and the Mandalorian side. But K2SO finally got his comeuppance as he's surrounded by 4 Mandalorians who finally take him down. Now this is a really interesting moment here in the game. So this is the last photograph I have from the board, but I will talk through how I was able to still clinch the win here. So the turn before, I had sent Han and Chewie after Paz Vizsla, but Paz Vizsla had clapped Han and Chewie back, shoved them off the point, so I wasn't able to steal the game there, and they had been removed. So there they are, taken off the board. I think that was the only time I want to say that I lost a unit off the board. Maybe I lost a unit off the board versus Ailsa. I can't remember, but yeah, that was definitely one of only a few times I'd lost a unit off the board there. So they were gone. But most importantly, the next bit with K2SO's goodbye, I chose to remove K2SO, pull the momentum one over to my side, move the struggle tracker 1 over as well, meaning that when Ollie scored 3 at that point in time, we hit the midpoint, I gained my momentum back, then I rolled incredibly lucky, hit the priority point as the only one left that I control, and then the mission critical meant that I won the game 2-0. So a really kind of brutal end to a tough old game there. So fantastic game though versus Ollie. Really enjoyed it. A shame that it kind of went the way it did. But yeah, Ollie and I still friends. We still drove home together and had good chat on the way back. And it was all good and stuff as well. So yeah, absolutely. You know, I felt I describe it as I wasn't sorry to win the game, because obviously I'm a competitive player, and I wanted to, I still knew I had a chance to potentially win the tournament by going 3-1, and I'm never going to ease up on anyone. So that's you can't play like that. You've got to play in a competitive scene. You've got to play a strong tournament if you can. So yeah, so that was my kind of thinking for that one. But I was sorry that Ollie wasn't able to take the 4-0, even if it meant beating me, and get a locked in tournament win, as I think that would be amazing. And for those of you who followed my channel for a while, watched my reports and stuff as well, pretty much all the boys from the local scene, and loads of other players that I've run into as well. I think there are so many strong players in the UK that I'm going to events more and more and not being surprised at all when people are putting in really strong results and doing really, really well. So Ollie is one of those players that I was not surprised at all to see him fighting for a tournament win by now. I think he's improved at the game so much. And yeah, if you run into him, he is not an easy opponent by far. So yeah, definitely a close one there for Ollie on that one. But yeah, I was able to squeak the victory today and get the win. So let's have a look at the kind of the games and then the final standings. So here are my games. So we can see in round 1, as I discussed it, 4 wounds to me, only 1 wound to Andrew, but he got the 2-1 win with my mother Morgan list not doing the business. Then it was 3 wounds for me, 4 wounds for Ailsa, but 2-1 win to me in round 2. Then Kay got 5 wounds and I got 3 with a 2-0 win in round 3. And then finally in that round 4 there, 6 wounds for me by the end with 4 to Ollie and again a 2-0 win. So let's look at the final standings. So with a little bit of a drum roll, there were 3 of us who ended on 3 and 1. So let's see the final results. And unfortunately for Shatterpoint Steve fans, we finished second. But congratulations to Andrew, who I played in round 1, who was able to get the win on a slightly better strength of schedule. What's that? 0.17, is it? Yeah, 0.1. No, sorry, 0.1. Yeah, well, 0.17. I think ahead, isn't it? My maths is all over the place. Whatever. We'll get there in the end. But yeah, so yeah, very 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 close on strength of schedule. But I mean, an 8-person event, 3 rounds is probably best. But we lock in for 4, which I do prefer 4-round events anyway. And Ollie, unfortunately, by not getting the struggle, puts him down to 3rd. So if he'd won the struggle, probably would have taken the tournament win there. So yes, very very tough field to be playing in there. But big well done to Andrew for the win. Obviously, I'll be breaking this all down in the Stats Centre show tomorrow. So let's have a quick roundup of the prizes as well. So we've got some nice shinies. But because I attend so many events, I've actually got all these shinies already. So a top 4 Kit Fisto card, then Lando Calrissian, General Veers, and the Mandos. So I already have all of those, but still lovely to see some prizes being given out for people who may have not received them. So yeah, so that's pretty wicked there. And then I also got a store credit, which was lovely for the shop, and I was able to pick this up. So it's mine and my partner's anniversary coming up, and she loves Stardew Valley, and I've been wanting for a very long time to pick this game up for her and me to play. Co-op game, also loads of my friends as well, my family as well like Stardew Valley, so it's definitely one that will see a lot of use with various people. And yet with the voucher as well, it was cheaper than I'd found it anywhere else, and then with the voucher added as well, that definitely was the incentive I needed to pick this up. So a little anniversary present for my partner, and also just a really nice nice way of kind of celebrating the event there. So picking up a board game with my store credit as well, which is really nice. But there was one more gift that didn't come from the tournament, which I feel obliged to talk about, as it's absolutely awesome. And it is this, the rare coveted Savage Opress, Basin Turret, Death Trooper Specialist, and Seven Scorch Shinies that are incredibly rare in the UK. And I must just say a massive thank you to Phil, Tabletop Impulse. Phil's actually attended a couple of events where he's had these cards gifted to him, and he's ended up with a couple of sets. He was able to give one, of course, first of all to his wife, Helen, so absolutely correct to do that. But then he ended up with another spare set, and he very, very generously gave them to me. So thank you so much, Phil. That's it's really kind, and you may well see them on the tabletop. I can't promise if I'll play Savage, but you may see them on the tabletop coming to you at some point soon. So yeah, a really lovely weekend, and again, just highlights how wonderful the community is. So yeah, if anyone wants any shinies that they don't have, there's a chance I've got 2 of them in lots of cases. I will also be attending a couple of more GTs, so I'm going to end up with a few GT things as well. So if you aren't able to make the GTs and you want some of the cards as well, do hit me up. And if I haven't given them away already, then I'd be happy to share as well. So yeah, what a lovely event. So yeah, all that remains for me to say is the usual. Hit the like, the subscribe, the follow, ding the bell, leave me a comment. Ollie, leave me a comment telling me that I called you Louis again. Apologies, mate. And hopefully everyone had a really good time at the event. Lovely tournament there. Thanks to Elsa for running such a good event again. And hopefully we start to see more people attending more events as the summer kind of makes its way through. Obviously, summer holidays are coming up. People are going away. There's a few events coming up. I'll be talking about them on the stat show as well. There's a Leodis Games event that's been put in as well recently again as well for October. So lots of events to look forward to as we progress through the year. So yeah, all that remains to say is until the next time, bye for now.